We're ready.
Thank you, guys.
Good afternoon. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to this session of the Minara Chamber of Commerce's, we'd say weekly or monthly editions of interesting webinars that we'd like to have, or short conversations with business owners around our province or the country that have something to offer you in terms of advice, leadership, mentorship, business. But of course, for South Africans these days, the most important topic is security. How can we not even wake up every morning thinking about security? I am Nazareen Ebrahim, a representative at the Minara Chamber of Commerce, and it's my pleasure to introduce you to Trisha Parshotam, Director of Dragon Protection today, who's going to take us through a quick discussion. Trisha, you and I are going to have a quick discussion around safety mechanisms for the holidays. So it's really wonderful to welcome you to today's very short conversation.
Thank you very much, Nazareen. I really appreciate it. And thank you for this opportunity.
Wonderful. So before we kick off, what is the website address people can go and check out some of your services and offerings?
So they can find us on www.dragonprotection.co.za. And if they'd like to email me personally after this, they are welcome to do so on sales, SALES with an S, at dragonprotection.co.za.
Okay, great. Everyone's heard those contact details. We have 15 minutes to chat. We will round up at around 20 past 12. We're watching this live on Facebook. Well, I wish it were live, actually, now that I think about it. It's actually you watching a recording, but those details are forever, Trisha, I know, so they can get hold of you anyway. Let's kick off this discussion. Your business, how long has it been in this industry? I mean, this industry is ever changing, right?
So the business has been in the industry for over 2 decades now. It's been functioning as a ever evolving business. Every so often we think of ways to make this business more sustainable. And to evolve with the times and the challenges that we are facing as a country. Security is unfortunately, it's become a necessity. It's no longer become an option. It's become a necessity. So it is vital that as a company that offers such a necessary service, we have to constantly be evolving. So it's over 2 decades of, 25 years of evolving with the times. Yeah.
25 years of evolving with the times, which I'm sure you've noticed all manner of trends of increasing crime, particular types of crime, and particular areas or industries or sectors where there's an increase or influx of crime. So what are some of those trends that you've noticed, Trisha, along the way? Particularly now that we head into the holiday period.
So essentially, Nazareen, what's happening is that crime has changed in a way that has become more dangerous. It has evolved to become, I would say, a little bit more intensive. It's no longer where people are coming into your property or coming into your home or business and petty crimes. It's not just stealing clothes off the line or taking a bicycle. That does still happen. However, it's now become more violent because it's a sign of the times, as the times are becoming more desperate. And I think when people are desperate, violence partners with desperation, unfortunately. And that is where we are finding a change in the trend of crime. It's just becoming more violent because it is more desperate. South Africa has one of the world's worst Gini coefficients, which means that our inequality between the salaries that are earned is very vast. So you have too many have-nots and very few people that actually have. So that, desperation is the problem here.
That's a very broad topic to speak on because it comprises so many areas of understanding human condition across socioeconomic, whether it's policy or it's just the state of humans across the divide in society. We have to pull it apart to really understand, because desperation, it does not necessarily mean a bad person. but for
No,
all intents and
but
purposes,
yes,
crime is
but this
crime,
is a
right?
job. This is a job.
Yeah,
This is a career. This is a job. And, whenever we go out there, and, I don't know if you know, but part and parcel of one of the services that we do offer as a security company is we do a course, and we basically train you and your teams as to how to become their own bodyguards. It's part of our team building that we offer now to corporates on
yeah.
safety and security.
So it's a
And
team building on safety and security, is what you're saying?
yes, we
Wow,
offer a
that's
team
interesting.
building. Yeah, so the very same way that you would go out and learn how to build a river raft or learn how
Yeah,
to climb a dam wall, while we teach you about safety and security, it's an absolutely mind-blowing, adrenaline-filled 2 days of just empowerment and learning about how to be situationally aware, learning very basic self-defense tips, going onto a shooting range, getting to fire down the range guns that you've probably never experienced but will come across should you be a
yeah,
victim of crime. So look, unfortunately, we are living, in a time where this is an essential life skill that needs to be shared with our teams. And during this course, I tell everybody that your job is to make sure that these people's jobs, because this is now a job,
yeah,
it's all about time. It's all about swiftness. And if you are situationally aware, and if you understand your surroundings, and if you know, look, something's going to happen, I'm going to get caught in a situation. But when you're prepared and you are mentally prepared and you are aware of your surroundings, it's amazing how this entire process of criminal activity that is about to engage with you becomes
mm,
very swift, very quick, and you're able to get out of it. Um,
yeah,
and this is what we teach you in terms of how to prevent hijackings, how to prevent home invasions, how to prevent issues in an Uber. We train on kidnapping. Kidnappings become very big. That's a new trend now that we've noticed. But there are ways to avoid it, and there
mm,
are processes and procedures that can be shared with your teams to help them to understand it, because not only are your big CEOs and directors being taken, now it's the middle level management who have access to the bank accounts, who have access to codes.
yeah,
All those are the people that can release the funds. They have the knowledge and the know-how. And these big syndicates actually understand, hey, this CEO and director actually doesn't know what's happening in their company because they've got teams that are performing
yeah.
most of the duties. So, that's, you asked me earlier on in terms of trends. So that's one of the other trends. So, yeah, it's become a job. And as you say, desperation has a very vast topic, but this is another level of desperation,
But crime is it's still crime. Absolutely.
Yes,
It,
it's still crime.
it's still crime.
Um, so Nazreen, in terms of the holiday and in terms of business tips, let me run you through that very quickly because I know that time is of the essence.
Yeah, you have
So in
about 8 minutes,
terms,
so you're pretty good on timing.
okay, okay. So in terms of business tips, the trend now is that we are finding that a lot of high value items, and not just jewelry or technology, but branded clothing, that seems to be the new target in the last
Branded
couple of
clothing and high value
yes,
items. I
the
mean,
high
even
value item.
a high-tech
Yes,
vacuum could be a high
yes,
value item.
yes, absolutely. So those types of things have now become um, the the new target. So the advice that I can offer now in terms of people that are in retail and that are based in a mall, more specifically,
Yeah,
I think you need to change your routine. You need to have staff that are specifically there and that are trained to observe, and not expect your sales team to now be observing who's standing outside, who's watching the store, who's in the store that could potentially be um, a criminal. You've got to separate the two. So you've got to have your sales teams because their focuses are different. Commission,
yeah,
they need to meet targets, they're working long hours, they are tired. So their alert levels are not the best to be depending on. So you need to
mm,
then allocate and rotate these staffs and say to your staff and your teams, listen, today you on the floor for sales, you are on the floor, and you guys are dedicated to essentially just watch the surroundings, walk around, walk up and down outside of the store, not only inside. Have a look what's happening out of the store, because they are out of your store. These criminals are out of your store, watching your store for almost a week. They also following your patterns. They understand what time is lunch hour, who takes lunch, how many staff go on lunch, what time does the store get busy, what time is the store an easy target time. You know,
Yeah.
in your store, you've got staff, some are young, some are old. You'd find that they tend to enter the store when perhaps the more stronger man or the more prominent figure is
Is
now
not
gone
available.
on lunch, on a break.
Do you,
So what you
Trisha, do
need
you
to do is
also think
rotate. Yes.
you've said that, and sorry to cut you there for a moment, but you know, it
Yeah.
makes me think about this fascination with being on our cell phones all the time, which takes
Oh, yeah,
away
yeah,
alert
yeah.
levels, right? So
Oh,
of course, if
yes.
they're watching and tracking,
Yes.
they're looking for someone who's busy on their cell phone watching a TikTok video or catching up on a quick message.
Yes. So they look for that, but they also, even if you're standing there and you're not looking at your phone,
You're still a
they've
target.
already, yeah, use the target, because they've already plotted their way in, they've plotted their way out, they know how long it's
Yeah.
going to take, they know how many guards are positioned at the boom gate at that time, when they're going to exit. They have done all their homework to commit the crime at that time. So while you may not prevent the crime from happening, but if you are situationally aware, you are able
Yes.
to press the panic, get help, alert the security, call your armed response company and say, hey, you know what? There seems to be a problem. I can see some some sort of behavior that I'm not very happy with. Please, can you come
Yeah.
and check it out? That's what your security company is there for. You know, it's all about
Yes.
prevention is better than cure. And should they make their way into the store, you are a lot more alert. You've put away some of the high value stuff. You just make it harder for them.
Yeah.
You know, I always say, even in a home, your dogs, your electric fences, your alarms, your beams, those are all early warning detection systems. So they alert you, and they delay the time for the criminal to get in. But if those systems are not functioning, and if those systems are not working, and if
Yeah.
you are not using it to the best of your ability, then you've actually served no purpose. So if your systems within your store are in place and your staff are all working as a team and understand, look, this is the time that crime happens, or these are the hours we need to change, these are the times we need to rotate, these are the times we need to break down, we need to set up, we need to pack the stuff away, let's change it for today. You'll see that you confuse the criminals. You just make it harder. It's all about making it harder.
So it's a sense
It's
of
not.
having what can I say, a kind of a difference in the routine, although the routine is there. But that is true.
Although the
You know, it's
routine.
sometimes taking a different way home rather than taking the normal way
Yes.
home when you're driving home from somewhere.
Yes.
I find that
Yes.
works. Do you also think, Trisha, as we head towards the end of our very quick, brief chat, because you've given such brilliant tips and very expertly articulated a scenario of what um, attackers look for when they're scouting out a scene.
Yes.
Do you think it's worthwhile? You know, teams sometimes, not everyone's going to come through for training at this point, but they all know you offer this training. So if you're listening, please contact Dragon Protection Services. It would be great for you.
Yes.
But just having a general awareness of step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on what you need to do immediately. I don't know, write it down somewhere, go through it as a team. What would you suggest?
Yes. So we advise this on a broad spectrum. We advise having a home invasion plan and having a business invasion plan. So I will use the home invasion as an example. So everybody should have a home invasion plan, okay? Because it's vital. So if something's about to happen, and if you've been on alert level and understanding that, hey, situation where something's about to happen, you would have heard your alarm going off, the electric fence triggered, right? kids, something's going on. We all going to go to our safe spot. You identify a safe spot. It needs to be a place that has a window, it has ventilation. You are able to jump through it if you need to. And then who grabs the panic button? Who grabs the cell phone? Who puts the message up onto the neighborhood watch? Who calls the police? Who calls the armed response company? So everybody needs to have a function. And we say that this function needs to be drilled into your method of thinking. You've got to rewire yourself. You have to come out of shock, and you have to go into
you got to really just get into action, but in a calm manner.
Be prepared. Yes, in a calm manner. And if everybody does what they need to do, what this does is that you will still get robbed. I'm not saying you're not going to get robbed, but when that person's in your home, you know help is on its way. You know that you're going to be safe. There's a potential possibility that they could get caught, okay? But you have now, there's nothing more calming when you're in a situation like this to know that this is happening to me and help's on its way and we're going to be okay. Rather that than be in the situation and have had no idea that anybody heard the alarm, that the armed response company even got a signal. And then that's the other thing. You've got to keep testing your alarms. People are going on holidays now. Make sure that as part of your holiday prep, you test your alarm. Make sure that signals are being reached at your armed response company, because with load shedding, a lot of things go very, they just kind of offset the timers and the routine. So you're going to need to test your alarm before you go. Leave a curtain open so that when your armed response team comes into your home, they're able to look into your property and they're able to see if someone's inside. Because generally that's what happens.
Storm. We have a minute left, right, in our very, very brief conversation. But I just wanted to make a quick note. I know we've talked about scenarios that typically signify higher end homes. The electric fencing and the full alarm systems in place, and on panic on call, which is immediate. Of course, as a community driven business, you're also aware that people may not necessarily have these protection services or these elements in place, security features in a home. They may not be able to afford it, but at the very least, they can still have an awareness around what to do should something happen at their home. Yes?
Yes, absolutely. So as I said, if they can have a home invasion plan, they all have a cell phone. They may not have the panic button. They may not be linked to the armed response company, but make sure that in that instance, you get onto your cell phone, you send it out if you've got a family WhatsApp group, if you've got a friend, if you're on a neighborhood watch group. That would possibly be the only advice I can give to you. And then because you don't have these things in place, make sure all your windows are closed. Make sure that you check your doors. Make sure that you don't have any loose locks, handles, window panes, all those little things. Make sure that your lights are working. Make sure that you've got, you've got clear visual, because that makes a difference. Being able to see what's around you. Simple things like trim your hedges, trim your trees. Keep the hedges clean, keep the garden clean. So that's something that they could do if they don't have all this. And even if you do, you should be doing that.
That's wonderful. And that brings us, actually, sadly, to the end of our conversation. But you have, in a space of 15 minutes, taken us through the full spectrum of trends, given us tips and ideas, articulated scenarios. So you've done extremely well. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Nazareen. Thank you for the opportunity.
It's brilliant.
Okay.
Trisha Parshotam from Dragon Protection Services. Go find them on Google, like we Google everything. Get in touch if you want training or whatever it might be, and check out their services. We thank you very much for your time on this very quick snap conversation we've had. It's part of our, community-driven conversations that we have to empower you as business owners, as citizens, as residents of South Africa. And please join us in the new year for amazing conversations we will continue to have. Visit minara.org.za for more information and to renew your membership for the upcoming year. And that's it from us. Okay, everyone, take care and good luck for the festive season. Be safe.